Hello. I'm a high school United States history teacher, and I have several multilingual learners in my class with a wide range of proficiency levels. Many of my students have been in the United States for just over a year. While their proficiency levels are emerging, they still struggle with this course because of the extensive academic vocabulary and their unfamiliarity with United States history in general. Would you like to know what I did to help them? Well, I remembered from some of my training that building background knowledge is essential for creating meaningful, comprehensible input. Additionally, incorporating visuals throughout my classroom environment, such as visual timelines and word walls, not just in assignments, significantly helps make history come alive and enhances understanding, especially for multilingual learners. I decided to put some of these concepts into practice to create dynamic, meaningful learning experiences for my students. As we know, it's crucial for all students to understand both the timeline and the geography, which is ever-changing and fluid in United States history. To support this, I decided to include visual representations of academic vocabulary, a visual timeline, and posters of the changing boundaries on my classroom walls. This type of support takes a little extra effort, but it is especially helpful for our multilingual learners. Here are examples from the word wall and geography posters I used. Notice the student-friendly definitions along with the visual representations. I also displayed a visual timeline on the wall to help students stay anchored in the time frame as we move forward or even backward for a review. Concerning academic vocabulary, students, especially multilingual learners, need multiple, meaningful interactions with words to fully grasp and retain them. A Frere model is an excellent tool for this type of student engagement. Here's an example of a completed Frere model. Notice that there is an additional space for translation. In all subjects, it's imperative for students to get started on the right foot from the very beginning of the semester. History is filled with synonymous academic words and terms that can be confusing for multilingual students. I use a chart like this one to help my students understand the various words that represent some of these concepts. Pre-teaching vocabulary is an essential and important part of the process for building background knowledge. Now that I've set up my classroom, let's take a look at an accommodated lesson for our multilingual students. Here is an example of a timeline activity I use for my students. For a history student, it contains an appropriate amount of rigor, but for a multilingual learner, the cognitive load may be a little too high. Now, you can see where I have accommodated the format of the timeline for better clarity. Instead of a fill-in-the-blank format, I incorporated questions. Why did I do this? Well, the question and answer format helps students focus on essential details, making it easier to identify and understand the main points of a text. In other words, for multilingual learners, it's a more straightforward way to interact with the terms. I also provided a glossary for additional support. These terms could also be used for the Frere model activity. I hope these examples have given you some insight into adapting your content for multilingual learners. While some of these accommodations may take a little extra time, here's a tip. Work with the other teachers on your team to divide and conquer. Your department can maintain a file with these accommodations for easy reference in subsequent years. Thank you for all you do for our multilingual learners. Your time and effort make a difference and are greatly appreciated. As always, your MLP teachers are here to help.